Talk about a reality check. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to another week of Dodgers Latest right here on our YouTube channel. We invite you, of course, hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend, comments. We read your comments right here on our daily space here on Dodgers Latest on YouTube. Numbers are going up, and we thank you for it. And, of course, you could always hit me up right there on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. Yeah, we talked about reality check. And that's what the Dodgers had, right? They absolutely got stunk out of the building by the Houston Astros. Dodgers end up getting swept by Houston. They get outscored 29-6 in sweeping of the Astros of the Dodgers. Kind of a funny way to end the homestand, right? You don't know what to expect. And it's something that we did some looking around, and this is not actually too uncommon for the Dodgers to struggle against winning teams, and there it is. The Dodgers are only a game above 500, 20-19 against teams with winning records. And that's very curious because, the Dodgers finished a 12-game stretch where they played Washington, the White Sox, and the Royals, and the Dodgers won 10 out of 12, sweeping the Rockies, and sweeping the White Sox as well. And it just seemed like the Dodgers could do no wrong. And then you run into a good team like the Astros, who are leading their division, and the Astros jumped all over the Dodger pitching. We'll get into that bullpen later on, and really gave the Dodgers a reality check. Now, don't get me wrong, the Dodgers still have a 7-game lead in the West over the Padres and the Giants. They still have the best record in the National League, but when you get into the playoffs, you play teams with winning records. You play teams that are good. And if the Dodgers can't seem to be beating good teams, this may be a short run. This team has got lots of flaws, very different from the team that won the World Series last year. And I think the bullpen is a big, big factor in that. And I think Dave Roberts, not that it's his fault. I just think they haven't had any other options. And we'll get into the Ohtani situation pitching again. Once again, why I think it's a horrible, horrible idea. But one starting pitcher that they're getting back, is the baby giraffe, Tyler Glasnow. He has finished 3 starts in Oklahoma City AAA. He actually pitched over the weekend in Vegas against the A's minor league team. All went through, and it looks like he may have a spot waiting for him Wednesday when the Dodgers are in Milwaukee. Dodgers start a series there tonight. It's Yamamoto tonight against Freddie Peralta. He's the Brewers' lone all-star. So a couple of all-stars on the mound in Yamamoto and Peralta. It'll be Clayton Kershaw on Tuesday, and then Wednesday the Dodgers are TBD, and they're off on Thursday. So that makes all the sense in the world that you would throw Glasnow out there, essentially make it a de facto bullpen game. See if he can go 2 or 3 innings. See if he can go more and get him back in the rotation. Remember, the Dodgers have lost pretty much 4 of their starting 5 in Sasaki, Glasnow, Snell, and Gonsolin. It looks like Tyler Glasnow is the first one to be back. Blake Snell, he has been pitching in some rehab starts at Dodger Stadium. Looks like he might be going out to the minor leagues pretty soon. Sasaki, I think he may be done for the year. And Gonsolin, there was no structural damage on the elbow, so we're waiting to see what the Dodgers do from there. But Oppenheimer, Tyler Glasnow may be back in the rotation, and it looks like Wednesday would be a landing spot in Milwaukee when the Dodgers finish their 3-game series in Milwaukee off Thursday and then head over to San Francisco to close out the first half of the season before the All-Star break and take on the Giants. All right, so we talked about a 3-headed monster at third base. Muncy's out for at least 6 weeks with that bone bruise in his knee. We talked about possible trades right here on Dodgers Latest. We gave you a long list. The one thing that we did get from our viewer comments is no Chris Taylor. Nobody wants CT back on the team. What were they calling it? CT 3 strikes, you're out. I can't argue with that. It was a pretty good comment there. But so we won't put Chris Taylor in the rotation, and it looks like Dodgers won't going to trade for anybody. That's what Brandon Gomes, the Dodgers general manager, said. It's going to be Kike Hernandez, it's going to be Miguel Rojas, and Tommy Edman. That sort of rotation at third base. Miguel Rojas has been playing really well at third base. Actually had a home run over the weekend. Problem. It seems there always is a problem, right? There's always a caveat. Well, Kike Hernandez is fighting an elbow injury. Tommy Edman has a fracture in his pinky toe. Not going to get him on the IL. It's not going to keep him out of the lineup in terms of putting him on the shelf. But they aren't playing well. So we may see more In other words, they're not playing healthy. We may see more of Miguel Rojas at third base for the Dodgers in the upcoming weeks as the Dodgers get ready to live life without Muncy. 6 weeks. I am thinking probably, because it's probably 6 weeks and then some rehab. So I'm thinking it'll probably more like 8 weeks. So I'm thinking we'll see Max probably in September, maybe early parts of September. And that'll be his sort of welcome him back to the big leagues, get a month worth of ABs, and then get ready for the postseason. But for now, Kike, Rojas, and Edman, that is your three-headed monster at third base for the Dodgers. All right, we talked about the bullpen. These were the numbers from the weekend. Look at that. 21 earned runs allowed in 17 innings against the Astros. Now, 2 of those games were bullpen games, and the third was Emmett Sheehan pitching, who pitched pretty well. But it goes back to what I've said. I went on a national radio show with my friend Sean Levine over the weekend about Ohtani pitching. Listen, it's great that Ohtani can pitch 2 innings. I get you. That's awesome. But that means the bullpen has to pitch 7 innings. And I think through the Astros series, they finally jumped on all the guys that have been doing well, Kasparius and Robleski and Noah Davis. Poor Noah Davis. He came, gave up 10 earned runs, and boom, got promptly sent back down. I think it's just not something you can do that's substantial. That you can do it through the whole of the season. It's not something that you can rely on through the whole part of a season. You need starting pitching that can go 5, 6, 7 innings, and the Dodgers just aren't getting that. Now, granted, it's been a slew of injuries, understood, but I think the Ohtani thing only compounds it, okay? It's not sustainable. Basically, Ohtani should have had, in my opinion, you should have made him a starter next year. Have a proper offseason, a proper spring training going into 26, and then there you go. Then he can do both hit and pitch. While during this part of the season, he wasn't ready to be a starting pitcher. You're not going to send him down to the minor leagues for a couple weeks or 3 games of rehabs like they've done with Glasnow, like they did with Emmett Sheehan. You're not going to do that stuff, right? So, because he has to play in the lineup. And thankfully, the offense hasn't been affected, although Shohei hasn't hit very well the last couple games. I just think it's a mistake. And I think, Dave Roberts said, hey, we feel we can get him stretched out maybe 4, 5, 6 innings by the end of September. Great, but think about the beating the bullpen is going to get until the end of September, and how are they going to be when they get to the playoffs in October? I think it's a bad move. And I know Ohtani calls the shots here, and he should, because they've let him call the shots. But I think this is a bad situation. The Dodgers are going to find themselves in a mess of a situation when the bullpen can't do it in October. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping they can figure this out. But again, Shohei, the pitcher, is something that I really wish they would give up. And look at that. The Astros exposed that bullpen, 21 earned runs in the last 17 innings. Okay, remember, hit me up on J-Rod Show and hit me up at J-Rod Show on X and Instagram. Subscribe right here on Dodgers Latest. 3 games in Milwaukee tonight. Yamamoto, Kershaw, maybe Glasnow on Wednesday. Thursday off, and then the Dodgers go to San Francisco to play the Giants. First time they go to San Francisco this year. Weekend series with them, and then the All-Star break, and then the Dodgers will return home to take on the Milwaukee Brewers and the Minnesota Twins. All right, let's get after it. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and remember, it's always time for Dodger Baseball.